happening, Magnus? Let's see what the drinker thinks of Alien Earth. You can tell by the title, it's probably similar to my own thoughts. Get over and follow the critical drinker. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you.
Wow, I've been on quite the roller coaster ride with Alien Earth. The moment the show was announced, my reaction was, wait, what? You're making another Alien prequel? Jesus, this franchise has been Brendan Gleeson so hard that Arthur Fleck must feel bad for it. I'm actually starting to feel sorry for the xenomorphs at this point. Then the first trailer came out, and much to my surprise, it actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Just like Alien Romulus, it captured the look and feel of the Alien universe perfectly, offering up another healthy portion of sci-fi horror and action, with some interesting new possibilities for expanding the lore. And the first episode seemed to confirm my hopes. There was action and spectacle, gorgeous visuals and production design, a talented cast, action and spectacle, gorgeous...
I'd never seen that before. This ship crashes into these buildings, and while it's crashed, its rockets are still on. I've never seen that before, whether it's in a cartoon or a series or a movie. Every time a ship crashes, the rockets are off after that. They're disengaged. They've lost function. But that, they kept going. I was like, oh, I like that. That's different.
Visuals and production design.
Just small detail.
Cast, gory body horror, sinister corporate conspiracies, grizzled-looking crewmen sitting around smoke.
That reminds you, when you see that table of all them, and it's more than just that, that's right back to Alien. Right back to it.
Key briefing rooms, and a thoughtful exploration of a facet of the Alien universe that often gets neglected. Holy... Maybe this show was actually going to be Disney.
I even looked at stuff like this.
Rooms and
they even made sure they got a black dude that was the same shade as the black dude in the first movie to let you know that it's rhyming. It rhymes. It rhymes. It's a callback. It's like, you know, this similarity. It says, remember berries? Remember the table scene? Remember them all working together? And then it's like, it just makes you think of it. If you've seen the first Alien movie 1,000 times, different people, but to me, it's the dark-skinned black dude, another dark-skinned black dude. It made me think of it.
Thoughtful exploration of a facet of the Alien universe that often gets neglected. Holy maybe this show was actually going to be decent. I even said as much on Twitter while ranting about some retarded journalist who sees literally all of entertainment as a...
Frustrating thing is that the show itself is actually pretty good so far, but morons like this will inevitably try to hijack it and claim it for themselves, because everything has to be about reinforcing their beliefs. Wait, what's... Oh. He said it.
Gender identity semen about some... Yeah, maybe this show was actually going to be decent. I even said as much on Twitter while ranting about some journalist who sees literally all of entertainment as a gender identity seminar.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
But time really does make fools of us all, because soon enough, Team arrived in the shape of episode 2, and all that interesting world building, smart character development, and thought-provoking ideas went out the window in favour of tired, predictable chase scenes, over-the-top kills, idiot characters who roll the dice on intelligent decision-making and come up with snake eyes every single time, goofy humour that's more out of place than a daycare centre in a strip club, and direction so amateurish that it makes Yui Boll look like Stanley Kubrick. In short, my experience with Alien Earth has been a wild ride so far, and
I didn't like the second episode. I liked it even more. It got better for me. Well, to each their own.
not in a particularly good way. Let us discuss. The show follows two main plot threads. Thread the first is set aboard a deep space research ship that's transporting all kinds of alien nasties back to Earth for experimentation, which is a bit of a weird idea in the first place. Like, why bring them all the way back to Earth when there's all kinds of jurisdictional issues, government oversight, and the potential...
That thing is the scariest thing in there, to me, besides the xenomorph. After that would come the blood-sucking things that they have. You'll see those. There's one thing that seems to be is some type of flesh-like plant. We haven't seen what it's going to bloom or give birth to, but yeah,
Potential for a containment failure that could spread to the general population. Why not some isolated colony or space station where you can do all your sinister corporate stuff in peace? Anyway, whatever. So the crew goes into hypersleep, but oh no, the aliens do what aliens always do and escape, kill most of the crew, and damage the ship's navigational system somehow. Flash forward a few months and the ship crash lands in the middle of a crowded city on Earth. I mean, I'm pretty sure a ship of that size traveling at orbital velocity would impact with the force of a nuclear blast and vaporize everything within a 10-mile radius, but let's not think about that too much. With casualties everywhere, search and rescue teams are sent in to secure the ship and rescue any survivors, only to realize there's something far more sinister on boards. The second thread follows Marcy, a terminally ill girl who's been taken to a private island by a billionaire.
Right.
I'm not sure I like where this one's going.
And her mind just just got that. And her mind is transferred to a synthetic body that is super strong and super fast. But she keeps her childlikeness. She doesn't seem to grow up. And her emotions are weird. They're robotic, but she can kind of still, it's...
Anyway, Marcy's put through an experimental procedure to transfer her consciousness into a new android body as part of a larger project to extend human lifespan. Pretty soon she's joined by a gang of other kids who all went through the same process, and because I guess the writers are fans of Peter Pan, she becomes Wendy and the others take on the names of the Lost Boys.
You're not all boys. So? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I'm not entirely sure the writers understand the themes of Peter Pan. I mean, I get that it's all cool and artistic to juxtapose a classic piece of children's fairy tale literature against the existential cosmic horror of the xenomorphs, because it's like a sharp contrast and stuff. But I can't shake the feeling that they're trying to fit a thematic square peg into a round hole with this one. Peter Pan was a story about the childish fear of growing up, of taking on the responsibilities and burdens of adulthood, of getting physically older and inevitably facing up to their own mortality. This is a story about children.
Did Peter Pan have elf ears in the original tale? Let me know.
Literally placed into adult bodies that will never age, forced to grow up quickly and adapt to their new situation. If anything, they're eager to become the adults on the inside that they look like on the outside. It's the exact opposite of Peter Pan. Whatever. All seems to be going well for Wendy until news of the ship crash reaches them and she sees footage of her brother Joe going in with the rescue teams. She wants to help him out, so she petitions her superiors to be sent in with the Lost Boys as a rescue team, and for some reason, they actually agree to it.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Like, you understand that you're basically sending children into a highly dangerous and highly traumatic situation with no weapons or training, right? Aside from the fact that they could easily get destroyed and wipe out billions of dollars of investment, how do you think they're going to react when they see dead bodies and horribly injured victims? Shit like that can cause veteran soldiers to freak out.
Yeah, this dude seems to be their leader right here.
Bodies and horribly injured victims. Shit like that.
This dude, he's always kind of like reeling them in from emotions and how they should be behaving and stuff like that. So I don't think he's bothered by that stuff, but he's trying to get them to be bothered by it. The actors do a good job of acting like children, though. You know what I mean? You'll see when you see it.
Can cause veteran soldiers to freak out. Never mind kids that have never seen anything more violent than an episode of SpongeBob. Just don't worry about it, I guess. So they get.
I was thinking
ship
about that
and head
too,
inside,
though.
But oh no, it's been overrun by all the escaped alien species. There's a xenomorph on the loose, and they even had to contend with the ship's science officer, who's got his own agenda. I said earlier, there's stuff I appreciate about this show, and one of the.
He's a cyborg, but he acts like an android. He's got like a robotic arm, but he acts like an android. So he's like emotionless and tactical, and everything is numbers, and he makes decisions, like that. There's no emotion behind anything he does. He's on a mission, and he does what he's supposed to do.
Those things is the world building. I've always been kind of curious what the Earth of the alien universe actually looks like, what daily life under Weyland-Yutani is like for the average citizen, how the culture and even the cityscapes have changed over the years. And to its credit, Alien Earth makes a decent effort to show us this, explaining the balance of power between the various megacorporations who run the planet now, and what each of them is trying to achieve. And big props to the production designers here. They've managed to strike that neat balance between replicating the rough and ready 1970s aesthetic
good job.
Technology of
Really
the
good
original
job.
movie, but updating it just enough in the right places to keep it consistent with
Yep.
actual progress in our own worlds. The concept of artificial life that was always kind of a side note in the Alien movies now forms the backbone of this show's story.
That's
What
true.
can you actually do with this kind of technology? What are the implications for human consciousness and our evolution as a species? It's interesting stuff, and the first episode takes the first tentative steps towards exploring these questions. The cast is a strong mix of experienced veterans and promising young talent. Timothy Oliphant is always an entertaining performer, but he's uncanny here as the android Kirsch, with his unblinking stare and his Roy Batty haircut. Babu Sise is another standout as the ship's science officer gone rogue, where you're never sure what side he's on. I don't know if they intentionally cast a guy who looks like Yaphet Kotto from the original movie, but either way, the resemblance is uncanny.
I think they did it on
And props
purpose.
to Sydney Chandler as Wendy,
They want to bring
who's
you
got
back
just the
to what
right
was
mix
good.
of wide-eyed innocence and steely determination, even if she's been lumbered with the worst haircut in all of Hollywood. Seriously, Lloyd Christmas is not a character aesthetic you want to aspire to. Like I say, there's some great building blocks in place for this one, which makes it all the more frustrating when episode 2 takes a wrecking ball to them.
I thought it was
Characters
great.
make absolutely absurd decisions, like splitting up and venturing all around a dangerous crashed ship filled with unknown alien life forms instead of immediately evacuating and calling for backup. Dialogue is so on the nose and weighed down with exposition that I think
It's one of those things where it does act like a horror movie. It acts like a sci-fi movie. Acts like both. This is one of those scenes where it's like they're gonna get killed. It's like when you say it's they get there, they're warning them they need to evacuate the building because things are loose. We need to lock things down. We're having a party. I don't think so. Good day to you. It's like when it's like, okay, the alien is going to get him. You just know it's going to happen, and it's going to be funny. It's going to be fun, and boy was it.
felt like I was listening to an audio description of what was going on. I know people talk about second screen viewing, but this really isn't a show that should aspire to that kind of bullshit benchmark. Joe, Wendy's brother, is such an unbelievably incompetent pussy that I was actually rooting for the guy to get killed since it's clearly what he wants. Seriously, how did this guy ever make it through basic training? He looks like a strong breeze or a harshly
He's in an episode of Black Mirror, and every time I see him, if you've seen it, this is all I think. Give me money! Give me money! You know!
Also, the idea of having children in adult bodies facing off against aliens might have sounded good in a brainstorming session where everyone was high on coke, but the reality is the Lost Boys are annoying as completely idiotic, and there's far too many of them to do any real character development.
They are idiots, because it's like a bunch of children. So it's just a bunch of children being children in adult serious situations, which doesn't go well. But they seem to be doing a good job, kinda.
The first two Alien movies were compelling because for the most part the humans were smart and logical and made the best decisions they could under the circumstances. You rooted for them because you understood them and you identified with them. I don't care about any of the Lost Boys because 1, they can't feel pain or injuries, 2, they can't be impregnated by facehuggers, and 3, well, they're idiots. Even the xenomorph is kind of now. One thing that people seem to overlook about the aliens is that they're not really out to kill you. Yeah, they sometimes cause collateral damage in the heat of battle, but what they really want is to capture you and use you as a host to reproduce. Here though, the xenomorph just mindlessly butchers every human it comes into contact with, like
Except for
Leatherface after several pints of Red Bull. It's just so reductive and boring, and it misses the real horror.
I don't know, because they do kill people. They've killed several people in different movies, So, I don't know if I can go with that. It seems like they defend themselves, and then if you aren't dead, you're impregnated. You know what I mean? You're harvested. But some people, it seems like... Remember in Alien vs. Predator, they started eating that kid. Remember that? Yeah. At the pool, started eating that dude. So... I don't know. I don't know about that.
What these things are about. I mean, it's not exactly hard for the alien to do what it does either. Alien Earth slides neatly into one of the tropes that I absolutely despise in movies. Humans with guns that never work because they magically forget how to use them because the script says so. I'm not kidding. There's easily 4 or 5 different scenes where a human character could absolutely wipe...
Remember when I said something about that in my review, basically, and it's one of those situations where when you're watching it, I was like, okay, I've seen this before. They're so fearful that they can't do nothing about it. It's like, shoot him. You've got a gun. You can take it out right now. But you're so scared. They're so scared they can't. Here come the second teeth.
About the xenomorph with a single blast of a pulse rifle, but they either hesitate at a crucial moment, or miss an easy shot, or just stand there like it's embarrassing and completely infuriating in a show like this. Ultimately, it's hard for me to know what to make of Alien Earth because it's offered up such wildly conflicting extremes. Is it going to be a smart and mature sci-fi horror with philosophical undertones, or a dumb as slasher action flick with the alien name plastered over it?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. As long as it's fun, I have a good time, and they don't F it up, and you know what I mean. So,
only 2 episodes
we'll
in,
see.
so I can't say for sure at this point.
To me,
but my
it's okay
hopes
right
for this
now.
one are
It's fine.
rapidly fading. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
So I guess that's what he meant by roller coaster. Didn't mean exactly that he was having fun the whole time. Well, post the comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. If you haven't seen my review yet, check out my review. 10 million subscribers. Woo!